Hello, scabby scummers and gangers. Crimson Oracle here with another battle report. Yet another showdown between Saar and Escher in my Ash Waste campaign. And it's been a lot of fun getting these recordings done. I'm going to be hoping to keep up the once a week release for the battle reports. I actually managed to get this one recorded the same night as last week's. As you recall correctly, last week's went rather quickly. It was a bit of a rout. And sometimes the game just goes that way. And this one is actually a pretty quick battle too. I think it ends the end of round 2. So these open hive war missions are punchy. The deployments are often designed around a very, very quick and to the point battle, which I really have been enjoying. And I am, very happy with how this campaign has gone so far. Next week, I am going to have up a arbitrated scenario that I ran based on the escort mission from the rule book that I made some tweaks to in order to fit into my kind of Ash Waste environment that I have been playing with the last few months. And I think it went pretty well. That should be a lot of fun, although a little bit more work to edit down, as that game was, I think, about 5 hours of gameplay time, and a lot of that was recorded, so we had to be editing my butt off. Later this week, I will have another episode in my Battlefield on a Budget series, which should be entertaining, and I'm going to be doing a Pringles tower. Not exactly not exactly the first person to ever trod that territory, but when you're working with what you have, you wind up doing stuff that everybody else has tried before. This isn't even my first Pringles can terrain. It just happens to be one of the items that I think a lot of people encounter and can easily use in their modeling projects. So I look forward to that. And then I think on Friday, I'm going to have a rundown of the basic way that each of the factions in Necromunda plays, that I think will be helpful for folks who are trying to decide on what army to play and that kind of stuff. So I look forward to, continuing to share my hobby with you guys, and the outpouring of lovely input from so many people has been fantastic. I am very happy with how the channel is going and growing. So tell your friends. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you hit the little bell button, you'll get notifications when my videos go up, which is a nice way for you to get my content immediately instead of having to wait for YouTube to decide when to show it to you. In the meanwhile, I'm going to go ahead and toss to my Servo Skull Wally, who will walk us through the rest of the setup.
Greetings, I am Servo Skull Wally. Today's battle sees the enigmatic coven of the Argent Spire again battling their hated rivals, the posh Saar gang Sean's Dandies. After a quick rout in their last battle, the Escher find themselves needing to cross Saar territory. As with previous battles, random selection 6 was used for crew selection. Again, down by a substantial number of points, the Escher feature the gang's 3 champions: Polta, the dual shock whip matriarch; Yavak Hearteater, the needle rifle matriarch; and the unnamed, the gang's death maiden. A lasgun sister and 2 sisters with las pistol and stiletto knife came along as well. The gang was down by enough points to recruit a dramatis personae using house favors, calling the Death Maiden XXX to even things up a bit. Tactics cards would allow them to bring in their standby Wild Runner as well. Escher got the tactic card Wild Hunt, which allowed recruitment of a temporary Wild Runner with 2 Phalanx, and Predatory Fur, which subjects their opponents to Horrors in the Dark special rule, representing a feral beast stalking them on behalf of House Escher. Escher's secondary was Finish Them Off, granting a loot token if at least 3 fighters were taken out of action by coup de grace. Saar features the gang's prime, Rick, with his plasma pistol and power knife, as well as 2 cyberarachnids. The Archaeotech Dwight with Rad Beamer and Servo Claw, plus a Specialist with Plasma Gun, 2 techs with Las Carbides, and a Neotech with Las Gun and Power Sword, and finally, a Subtech with Power Knife and Las Pistol. Then Saar got the tactics card Bodyguard, which allowed the gang's leader to bring in a fighter who was not drawn for the battle to serve as bodyguard. This was the Subtech, functioning as another pet. They also received Enhanced Cybernetica, allowing them to upgrade their Augmentics for 1 game. Then Saar's secondary was the challenge, requiring the gang to take one of the opposing champions out of action. The mission was Escape the Dome, which required the attacker, Escher, to get at least 3 fighters in base contact with one edge of the battlefield chosen by the defender, Van Saar. They could also win by being the only gang with fighters left on the board. The battle's deployment was free-for-all, ensuring Escher had ample opportunity to be strategic about getting all of the board edges. The peril card for this battle was Hive Plague, seeing both gangs take D3 flesh wounds from random fighters before the battle. The battlefield was set up as ruins of another fallen town. Escher deployed hoping to easily move fighters towards any of the 4 battlefield edges, with Van Saar sticking to a large group activation strategy in the center.
Van Saar selects one of the long table edges to use as the objective for this game. Van Saar will win the priority roll and chooses to start with a large group activation of a prime, 2 cyberarachnids, 2 techs, and a subtech. The cyberarachnid moves up first and uses a web projector, but does not wound the matriarch with the needle rifle, and does wound the sister with the las gun, webbing her. The second spider then moves up and fires the same shot. Since one is already webbed, only the matriarch can be hit, but she is not webbed. However, she is of course pinned. The prime attempts to charge the matriarch, but he is unsuccessful. So a tech with las carbide moves up and fires into the matriarch, hitting twice, but only managing to wound once. Matriarch passes her armor save. So another tech moves up and shoots at the matriarch. However, the shot is a miss. So a subtech activates and charges the matriarch. But he is unsuccessful in wounding. She strikes back. She manages to hit once, but she also fails to wound. I would activate a matriarch to charge the neotech. She has to jump down, so she takes an initiative check and passes. She successfully makes the charge and moves into versatile range. But remarkably, all of the shots miss. Then Saar activates a Neotech and makes a ram attack while moving into position. But the ram attack fails to wound. The Neotech then throws a rad grenade at the Phalanx and Death Maiden and Wild Runner. It hits all 4. It does not wound the Death Maiden. It does not wound the first Phalanx. It does not wound the Wild Runner, but it does successfully wound the second Phalanx. and it is seriously injured. The rad phage does not go off for the Death Maiden or the first phalanx, but the Wild Runner is affected, and the second phalanx is affected. The rad grenade passes its ammo check. Escher activates the matriarch with needle rifle, who is engaged with the subtech. She hits twice. She causes an injury roll with both. And the subtech fails one save, causing a serious injury, which she uses to coup. And the subtech rolls a trip to the dock. The Archaeotech activates and moves up to shoot, targeting through a building, but the shot misses. In response, the Death Maiden activates and stands up and throws a choke grenade. But it scatters into a wall, still hitting the Neotech. The Death Maiden passes the ammo check, and then Neotech takes an injury roll from the gas with no saves, and is seriously injured. The tech specialist will move up and shoot at the Wild Runner below, but he will miss with his clear shot. The little sister will jump down from the shipping container to attack the Neotech, passing her initiative check. Since the fighter is seriously injured, she takes him out of action, and he gets a 24 out cold. I activate the Wild Runner and Phalanx and move them up. I accidentally moved one that was seriously injured. And then on the other side, the Death Maiden and little sister move up, and the injured sister crawls toward the board edge. I move the cat back. Maya Gang can't bottle yet, but Sean can on a 6, but he passes. The Phalanx stays seriously injured, and the sister with the las gun gets free of her webbing. Escher wins priority for this round and activates by taking a Death Maiden in to charge the tech specialist with her versatile blades, and she manages to hit twice and wound twice, and the tech fails both saves and is seriously injured. The Archaeotech steps up to shoot, but he misses with the rad beamer once again. The sister stands up to shoot at the cyberarachnid, and she'll hit with her las gun, and it wounds, and the cyberarachnid is taken out. It is out cold. And now the Van Saar will group activate. The cyberarachnid will move up and shoot the sister with the web projector. And she'll be webbed. And then the tech will charge the sister and coup her. She gets a 52, which is an eye injury. Van Saar leader charges the matriarch. His plasma pistol hits. It wounds. But she will successfully save. The power knife will hit twice. It will wound once. And she will again make an armor save. The matriarch will make her reaction attacks, hitting once, but failing to wound. Escher will move up a matriarch, and the tech will fire the las carbine into combat. hitting once, going out of ammunition, successfully wounding, but the matriarch again makes her save. And now Escher will move up fighters, as this is the end of the round. 3 are in contact with the board edge. Escher will win the game. You get 50 credits out of it. Another 30 from my clan chemist. Then Saar got 20. And another 30 from his archaeotech. I earned 1 turf and gained 1 reputation. Thanks again to everyone for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share with your friends. Thanks so much to my patrons who make these videos possible. You guys are all awesome. You too can become a patron for as little as $5 a month. And don't forget to check out the podcast, The Dome Runners. You can find me on iTunes, Google Podcasts, wherever. And everyone, stay safe, and don't forget to change your paint water.